Well, thanks, Tom and Mike. Great stories that bring these big core values of trust and empowerment to life. I'm really pleased, if not a bit daunted, to tackle such a big subject, such as unity, and to cover it adequately with just a few minutes. I guess the pressure's on. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, the village of Northfield. It's a town that encompasses about 1 square mile. There were 5 of us kids, and when it came to summer vacations, we did what most families did. We dodged out of town and headed either 500 miles north to Canada or 1,000 miles south to Florida. And like many families in the 80s, we carried out on this trusty journey in this gem. Our swag wag. How many of you guys have had station wagons in the 80s? Nice. Well, it's taken some time and maybe a little therapy, but now I look back so fondly on these family vacations, getting to experience diverse landscapes, meeting new friends, and observing different ways of life. But back then, I can just remember peering through the window as we drive by what seemed like hours on end, and secretly sympathizing for both those city kids who I imagine were deprived from building forts or collecting frogs in their backyard, but also those children who grew up on farms, completely isolated, miles from nowhere, with just windmills and haystacks for company. And I can just remember driving by and thanking the universe for sparing me from having to grow up on soybean fields or having to milk cows all day. Well, as fate would have it, of course, I had that chance several years later when I headed off to the College of Worcester, located in Wayne County, Ohio. And contrary to my childhood views, it didn't take me long to grow very fond of that simple farm life community that surrounded the school. This community is bustling today and is actually responsible for exporting the largest amount of furniture out of Ohio. Their economy is booming, and their biggest challenge is finding enough construction workers to meet the increasing demand. This community is an anomaly from what we know today, in that their ability to flourish depends on each other to meet their daily needs. They live off their land, and they refuse common conveniences that we have today, like technology and electricity. I'm sure most of you have figured out that the community I've had the pleasure of getting to know more intimately is the Amish culture. It's a community rooted in core values and togetherness. I find it fascinating that the Amish education system extends to just 8th grade, and they're still learning from a one-room schoolhouse structure. At age 14, the Amish are expected to join the workforce, a workforce in which there's 100% employment. And then by age 25, they're expected to not just be a part of the workforce, but to begin creating jobs by establishing businesses. And the Amish are amazing entrepreneurs. Although it remains quite small, I think with a population of about 300,000 today in the US, I believe the Amish culture has really come to be because of their ability to unite and their core values. They've endured a significant amount of challenge over time, but have still found out a way to unite on those core values that have shaped the community. Construction is one of the major trades in the Amish industry, and it's never better on display than when a neighbor or community member needs to build a structure. The Amish tap into their social capital and goodwill in the community by mobilizing labor to erect a building. The iconic barn raising activity unifies the entire Amish community, which comes together to take part in an event. Can you believe that? In a single day, an entire structure is built, raised, painted, and finished. Wow! How do they do that? With skillful planning for sure, but the key is unity. Each member on the team has a critical role for the build. But the magic is in how the community comes together toward a common objective to accomplish the impossible. Each individual relies on their unique craft, whether that's painting, framing, or preparing food to nourish those that are performing the work. And remember, it's not just those swinging the hammers that contribute to the success. It's each individual bringing their strengths to support the needs of the community. I couldn't help but think of the parallels in our organization. How do we bring our strengths together to build our barn? Well, for those of us at National Facility Services, we build our barn, so to speak, through the hospitals, medical office buildings, administrative campuses, and data centers, and more, that we design, build, and deliver to expand access and improve the health of our communities. How can we bring our strengths together in ways that bring increased value to our clients and members? Our core mission at Kaiser Permanente, to deliver high-quality, affordable health care, asks each of us to achieve something much bigger than any one of us. To adapt to the ever-changing needs in the environment without compromising the values that are KP. So, looking through the lens of leadership, how can we lean in and promote our values most effectively? Our road trip began during those fundamental value-shaping years as passengers in the journey. But we're no longer in the back seat. We've got that steering wheel in our hands, and we're navigating the path ahead. As leaders, it's our responsibility to cultivate an environment of trust, empowerment, and unity for our teams. It's up to us.